So Debenhams has collapsed. That's what, 12,500 jobs gone. Another one bites the dust. COVID, yeah? Well, let me give you a little breakdown and show you how this shit was planned. Because you don't want to think I'm some conspiracy theorist who just chat shit. But I can give you facts. And I feel like doing it today. So the way it works is this. Debenhams has been around for about 270 years. If they wanted them to survive, they would have survived. These guys were floated on the stock exchange in 2013, I think it was, for about 1.7 billion. But what happened was, the way it was planned is that the company was basically bought out by private investors, private equity company, for about 600 million. They then sold the freeholds of all of the buildings for about 500 million. Then rented those buildings back immediately from the new landlords at inflated rates, with a promise for 30 years. They then, obviously that makes the balance sheet look good. It suddenly looks like you paid off your debts and all this kind of, they then floated it on the stock exchange again, after having stripped all their assets, making it hard for the business to continue in the long term, but short term it looked good. They then sold their shares for 950 million. So they made 1.5 billion for themselves, a profit of 1.1 billion, and left the company in some crazy state where not only have they got large levels of debt, but they've also got no backup. They've got no freehold, they've got no assets, and eventually they ended up in the situation they are now, where COVID was the final nail in the coffin. But it was planned like that. It's the same with the NHS, where they're trying to sell off assets. There was always like sort of asset stripping. So they're stripping the assets so they can make money, but eventually make the business collapse. So what's happening? Everything's going online. Online retailers are buying up the businesses, effectively meaning job losses. So this is what I wanted to say. In 6 months' time, when all the people now that are shouting about, oh no, follow the rules, follow the rules, follow the rules, follow the government knows what they're doing, aren't realizing that we're being driven towards, on purpose, we're being driven towards job losses on purpose, so that we can eventually be rescued by the government, because they've created the situation, but they're going to rescue us from it. And that'll involve basically basic wages. So you'll get a set amount of money per month, guaranteed this, blah, blah, blah. And it will sound really good, but ultimately high levels of debt for the country will be owned by foreign corporations who'll be lending us money, foreign banks will be lending us money. Everything will be geared towards us being controlled by them, because they're the only ones that are going to give us money. You can't buy bread if you ain't got money, and the only money that's coming is from them because there's no jobs. See if my prediction is true in 6 months' time anyway.